Well, I think increasingly China does have the ambition to undermine U.S. leadership around the world, to challenge the international order that was put in place after World War II. China doesn't accept the norms that underpin the liberal international order, and it certainly opposes U.S. alliances. So the extent of China's ambitions remains somewhat unclear. Perhaps China wants to supplant the United States and become the world's global superpower, but we don't know that yet. But we do see China challenging aspects of the international system and the international order that I think are quite worrisome. China's inserting its own norms and practices into the international order and particularly organizations like the United Nations. And I think that this is not just a challenge to the United States, but really to countries all over the world who share our values, to all the democracies that benefit from the rules-based international order. Well, I think the Biden administration, from the day that it took power, has tried to put in place a system with China that will manage our competition, recognizing that competition between the United States and China is going to exist for a very long time. It's pointless to ignore that fact. But it does need to be managed, and as President Biden has said, we need to prevent these differences from really veering into conflict, because nobody would benefit from a war between the United States and China. Unfortunately, the Chinese have not been very willing to sit down with the United States and discuss ways to manage the competition. We want to talk about, for example, risk reduction measures, how to put in place more effective operational safety measures. Our military assets are operating in close proximity in areas that's close to China's coastline and in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait. The Chinese don't want the United States present there, so they really don't want to talk about how to make it safe for the United States to operate there. So this is a challenge. We also want to talk about our nuclear policies and doctrines and our nuclear arsenals. China has a clear plan to expand its nuclear weapons capabilities and the numbers of weapons that it has in its arsenal. The Defense Department has said that it will be over 1,000 by 2035, and we really do need to have a discussion about what constitutes strategic stability between the United States and China and potentially other nuclear powers in the world. This is also a conversation that Beijing has been unwilling to have. So I think that countries around the world need to strongly encourage China to engage in confidence-building measures, conflict avoidance measures, and arms control discussions. It's not that we see China as a replica of the former Soviet Union. There are so many differences between them, and our relationship with China is very different than that the United States had with the Soviet Union. But there are lessons that we can learn and apply to reduce tensions and the risk of war.